My name is Isaac, I'm 31 years old, and I live in Brooklyn. My first stint with Celibacy had to do with me traveling to the Amazon and working with various plants down there. In order to properly absorb the plants and work with them on a deeper level, you needed to abstain from sex for a month. This time around it's a little different. I have been celibate for about 1 year. It has to do with me getting divorced, ending a relationship of 6 years, feeling like I needed to recharge and take a break from the pursuit of sex, and I just needed to take a period of time for my own healing. In a way, I'm channeling all of that sexual energy into musical energy, creative energy, and I am working on mastering myself in the process and being the best musician that I can possibly be.
My name is Antonia, I'm 42, and I'm from Brooklyn. Before 2 years ago, I didn't know that there was such a thing as asexuality. I was writing a dating profile, and I was trying to describe myself, and the term I came up with was naturally celibate. I saw this thing called asexual, and I was like, oh, what's that? And so I clicked on it, and I was like, oh my God, that's like totally me. I've had sex, because that's the normal thing you're supposed to do, but it's like, I have other things I could be doing. I think I'm more of a sensual person. I would much prefer laying in bed hugging. Wow, that turns me on as opposed to the sex per se. I've always been a spiritual person. I think for me, it's important that sex have that spiritual component to it. That's what would interest me, as opposed to just the regular physical thing.
My name's Anthony, I'm 26, I work in Manhattan. Before I fight, I usually choose to abstain for about 2 months. I choose to abstain because it gives me an edge when I fight, it makes me angrier, and I feel just stronger. My favorite fighters are old school fighters, and they chose to abstain before their fights, so I decided to abstain also. Give me that extra edge. When I haven't abstained, I've noticed that I was weaker, I wasn't as strong fighting, and wasn't as sharp.
My name is AJ, I'm 37, I live in Manhattan, and I was celibate for 23 months. So when I think back at that time, I was partying a lot, I was basically looking to distract myself, and sex could also be a distraction if not handled properly. So it got to a point where things had to change. Basically, I decided to stop drinking. I decided to take a hiatus from sex, and I wanted to see how relationships would change if sex was off the table. So I did that. I read a lot of spiritual books. I turned to meditation. So even after all that work, I did not become a miracle worker in the area of romance. What happened was that lust no longer became the driving force. I no longer made decisions against my long-term interest. Sex, partying, smoking, they give you such a quick sense of relief. But meanwhile, the journey, the meditating, the soul searching, all of that's painful. But at the end, it's much more rewarding and it's much, much more stabilizing.
I'm Sister Betty McLaughlin. I'm a religious sister for the last 51 years, and I work at a parish in the Bronx called St. Benedict's. The role of celibacy for me has been that, unlike my twin, mother of 6, my family is the world. I'm in a huge parish family here, and in a very real sense, I can take them in. I can visit their deathbeds, their hospital visits, their convalescence, and that's my priority. My broader stance toward humanity I think is largely a consequence of my celibacy. So I don't love less. I think I love broader, and I think I love deeper. One of the wonders of having a spouse like a God, like Jesus, is that he's not jealous. I don't have to worry about that. I value human sexuality. I see the beauty of it in cementing a couple's love and the need of that to raise children. But I don't feel I've had a lesser life at all. Lord, is it I, Lord? I have heard you call.